Buyers of large 4x4s have warmed to the previous two generations of Kia Sorento, appreciating its spaciousness, value for money and market-leading 7-year warranty. With this latest model, Kia's attempted to add desirability into the proposition too. Larger, better equipped and more expensive than before, as Kia's largest model got what it takes to on key players such as the related Hyundai Santa Fe, Nissan's small X-Trail or even Land Rover's premium Discovery Sport. Bolder design is no escaping the bolder interpretation of Kia's design language employed on its latest Sorento. The front end is dominated by a more upright version of the firm's tiger nose grille, with a new floating diamond texture. Elsewhere, the Sorento styling is evolutionary and enlarged, particularly at the rear where the 95mm longer bodywork liberates even more interior space, making the standard third row of seats habitable by more than just children. Also benefiting interior space and practicality are an increased wheelbase 80mm greater than before and a middle row of seats which split 402,040, making it significantly more flexible when varying passenger and luggage requirements. That middle row of seats also tip and slide forwards on the latest Sorento, making access to the third row much easier. UK buyers won't be offered the 5-seater version. While the extra roominess is welcome, the most obvious improvement inside the Sorento are the improved plastics used on the dashboard and door panels, many of which are soft touch items lifting the quality feel in the big Kia diesel-only engine range, despite other European markets offering the Kia Sorento with an engine range including a 2.0-litre diesel and a 2.4-litre petrol. All UK versions will be equipped with a 197 bhp 2.2-litre diesel. This is a wise decision as it's more powerful, more fuel efficient and less polluting than the other choices, with versions equipped with the 6-speed manual transmission emitting 149 GkM. Choose the 6-speed automatic and that rises to 174 GkM. It's no surprise that Kia's focused on refinement and economy over performance with this motor, but choose either transmission and the Sorento will reach 62 miles per hour from standstill in under 10 seconds. 4-wheel drive is standard on all UK market Sorentos too. Kia's worked hard to suppress ambient noise from entering the Sorento's cabin with extra sound deadening materials throughout, meaning the engine note is only particularly penetrative at higher revs, while both road and wind noise are impressively subdued. Broad range and generously equipped, it's yet to finalize the exact specification and pricing of the latest Sorento, but expect it to start above the £27,000 mark and rise to a figure close to £40,000. Trim levels will be familiar to existing Sorento customers, with an entry-level KX1, rising through KX2, likely the private buyer's favorite, and KX3, with the company car driver appealing KX4 topping the range. Is this package of well-judged revisions enough to tempt buyers away from SUVs with more premium badges and price tags to match? Read Parker's full new Kia Sorento review to find out. Performance, tipping the scales at just over 1.8 tons. It's not unexpected to discover that Kia Sorento performance is adequate rather than brisk. Most buyers will have little to complain about in this regard, the Sorento representing spacious travel for up to 7 with the advantages of 4-wheel drive, rather than a sports SUV rival. Diesel, with 197 bhp behind it imposing front end, lies a 4-cylinder, 2.2-litre diesel engine, mustering an impressive 197 bhp at 3,800 revolutions per minute and a 441 Nm slew of torque from just 1,750 revolutions per minute, making easy work of pulling out of junctions and joining motorway speed traffic, particularly with the benefit of traction from all 4 wheels. That weight blights overall performance, limiting the Sorento's theoretical top speed to 126 miles per hour. Stick with the standard 6-speed manual gearbox, with its light throw action, and the Kia will complete the 062 miles per hour dash in 9 seconds flat. Kia expects many buyers, particularly company car drivers, to opt for the 6-speed automatic transmission. In most instances it's refined and smooth, but on occasions when you demand more urgency from it, there's a slight hesitation while it decides dropping one gear, rather than the two ratios initially selected, is sufficient. That aside, it's befitting of the Sorento's unruffled nature as a cruiser, completing the same 062 miles per hour sprint in 9.6 seconds. We'll have a clearer idea of what real-world fuel consumption is like when we test the Sorento in the UK, but it's unlikely to match the official claims of 50 miles per gallon for the manual and 43 miles per gallon for the automatic. Those impressive quoted figures do result in lower CO2 emissions, though, with the manual Sorento rated at 149 GkM and the automatic at 174 GkM. Handling. While the previous generation Kia Sorento handling setup was geared towards ride comfort, threading it through a series of bends could have it listing ship-like as it rolled from one side to the other. Although the latest Sorento isn't the kind of car that'll make you wake up early in your desire to get behind the wheel for an exhilarating drive, it's nevertheless significantly more accomplished, displaying better body control than it has before. There's still a degree of roll as you corner with vigor, but nothing excessive, allowing you to quickly develop confidence in the Sorento's handling traits. Neither is there significantly more communication through the steering wheel, but the weighting of the steering, which can be varied between 3 settings, feels more appropriate to the size of the car, being a touch heavier than the outgoing model. With power delivered exclusively to the front wheels in most driving conditions, the Sorento has a tendency to understeer, pushing wide in corners, when you ask too much of it, but it has to be cajoled and provoked before losing traction. For the most part, the Kia corners neatly and tidily, reinforcing that feeling of security that 4x4 buyers desire. Although the ride quality feels marginally firmer than before, in part because of revised European-specific suspension dampers, it remains a very comfortable car to both drive and be a passenger in, particularly when riding on the standard 17-inch alloy wheels, shod in chunkier 65 profile tires. You're unlikely to have complaints from disgruntled passengers. Featuring disc brakes all-round -320mm diameter up front, 314mm at the rear, stopping power is entirely appropriate for the car, at no point leaving you feel like you're going to run out of road. Modulating the braking force is easy too, with a progressive pedal action. Overall it won't entertain you, but you and your passengers will arrive at your destination unruffled. Equipment. From its spring 2014 launch, Kia's new Sorento will be available in 4 familiar trim levels: KX1, KX2, KX3 and KX4. Standard Kia Sorento equipment. At the time of the Sorento's European launch, Kia was still finalizing the exact equipment levels and prices for its UK range, but the easily understood tier hierarchy is carried over. Kia expects the manual transmission-equipped KX2 will be the most popular with private buyers, offering an enticing combination of equipment and amount of car for the money value, at a price point that significantly undercuts premium rivals. Fleet sales, which the firm expects will account for 55% of this generation of Sorento sales, are expected to be dominated by the KX4 with automatic transmission, priced around the £40,000 mark. Loaded with standard equipment, monthly repayments should prove to be tantalizing. Optional Kia Sorento accessories. Precisely which items of equipment are standard on which trim levels will be clearer as the Sorento's UK launch draws near, but we expect most, if not all, of the following features to be part of the range-topping KX4 trim level. Depending on the specification, there's either a 7 or 8-inch color touchscreen for the infotainment systems, with much improved graphics for the sat-nav, as well as doubling as a display for the reversing camera and a round-view monitor system, comprising of 3 other cameras. Higher-end models benefit from a premium 10-speaker Infinity audio system, complete with a separate amplifier, while all models come with DAB radio, aux-in, iPod and USB sockets in addition to Bluetooth connectivity. If you're unsure about parking such a large vehicle, in addition to the parking sensors, there are rear cross alert system which warns you of vehicles approaching from the sides as you reverse out of spaces, and taking away all the stress is a smart parking assist self-pack function. As with other Kias, there's a function to vary the steering and automatic gearbox when fitted between 3 different modes, which varies the weight and gear change point but not the degree of feel. Blind spot detection supplements the already large door mirrors, while the adaptive advanced smart cruise control, which accelerates and brakes the Sorento to maintain traffic flow, is one of the most effective systems we've yet experienced. At night, the adaptive front lights, which direct the illumination towards the steering angle, will be a welcome addition too. Climb inside, and besides the additional space, there's airiness courtesy of the panoramic sunroof, the front section of which opens, helping you keep cool. Outzone climate control and ventilated front seats, which are also electrically adjustable on some versions. When temperatures dive, front and outer middle row passengers benefit from heated seats too. Accessing the large boot is easy too, especially with the smart power tailgate that's electrically opening and closing. In other words, and the middle row of seats can be folded with release levers in the boot. Comfort. You will struggle to find a large 4x4 that matches Kia Sorento comfort levels, regardless of the purchase price. This is a car that will transport you and 6 passengers with ease thanks to an arsenal of features. Essentially, the Kia's suspension is of primary importance, with improved dampers specifically for Europe, revised suspension geometry and a longer wheelbase than before too. Chunky tires further cushion the blow of ruts and other road imperfections. There's now more head and leg room for each of the 3 rows of seats, most obvious in the 3rd row where adults can now sit more comfortably than before. Outzone climate control is effective at maintaining the selected temperatures, while the seats themselves are very comfortable. The only passenger who might have something to grumble about is whoever's in the center seat in the middle row. It's narrower than the outer ones, but the floor is now completely flat and all middle row seats recline and slide too. Depending upon the specification chosen, front and outer middle row passengers will find their seats are heated, while the front pair can also be ventilated with a gentle air-conditioned breeze through the leather perforations. Kia's undertaken a lot of work to reduce outside noise to keep the cabin as tranquil as possible. Noise from the tires and windrush around the door mirrors has been significantly reduced. Despite the Sorento's imposingly upright front end, it cleaves the air gracefully. Further noise suppression is thanks to thicker and additional sound-deadening materials and greater use of high-strength steel in the Sorento's construction, reducing body flex and subsequently squeaking trim panels too. Practicality. Larger than the outgoing model, with flexibility boosting features added too, it's no wonder customers appreciate the high levels of Kia Sorento practicality. Like most 7-seaters, when all the positions are occupied, boot space isn't great. In the Sorento's case, it's 142 liters. Fold them quickly and easily back into the floor. They split 5,050 if you require 6 seats, and the boot volume expands to 605 liters, a 74-liter increase over the outgoing model, and larger than the Santa Fe 516 liters and X-Trail 550 liters. The way the middle row folds has also been improved. Firstly, there are levers in the boot to fold them over in addition to the ones on the seats themselves.
As the backrests tumble forwards, the seat cushion drops just enough to give a flat load bay, perfect for heavy and difficult to move items. Even more beneficial is the 402,040 splitting of the middle row of seats, replacing the previous 6,040 arrangement. This added flexibility allows 4 larger seats to remain in use while very long loads are carried within the Sorento. Fold all of the big Kia's rear seats down and the total load space on offer is 1,662 litres, representing a 137-litre improvement, and a little larger than Hyundai's Santa Fe at 1,615 litres. Both are eclipsed by the Nissan X-Trail's cavernous 1,982-litre capacity, though. One gripe with the outgoing Sorento was that you needed to possess gymnast levels of suppleness to get into the back row of seats by clambering over the folded middle row ones. Not so with the latest model, where the middle row seats now lean and slide forwards, aiding ingress and egress significantly. Safety. Even before it goes on sale, the experts at Euro NCAP have crash tested the new car and rated Kia Sorento safety highly, giving it 5 stars. Specifically, it scored 90% for adult protection, 83% for child safety, 71% for its onboard safety aids and 67% for pedestrian protection. High-strength steel has been used extensively in the Kia's construction, allowing it to withstand impacts well. All 7 passengers are well protected from whiplash injury, and all-round airbags further keep everyone on board cushioned. For those who transport younger children around, note that the outer 2 seats on the middle row are where the ISOFIX child seat mounting points are located. Pedestrians benefit from an active bonnet mounting, popping it up and away from the harder parts of the engine in the event of a collision. The latest Kia Sorento can also be specified with a suite of contemporary safety equipment such as dynamic headlights which direct the illumination in the direction of travel when cornering, blind spot monitoring, bird's eye view cameras for parking, and a very effective adaptive cruise control system. Ensuring you're even more visible at night time, the lights both front and rear contain bright LED elements too. These are all fitted on top of the safety systems we have come to expect, such as electronic stability control, traction control and anti-lock brakes, to name a few. Reliability. Based on the outgoing model's impressive record and feedback from our owner's review section, we expect Kia Sorento reliability to be incredibly robust. Backed by Kia's own 7-year 100,000-mile warranty and an impressive level of fit and finish, inside and outside of the car, the Sorento has all the ingredients to be a painless car to own. Kia makes great play of its collated owner's review feedback in its marketing, reinforcing how reliable its existing cars have proven to be. Consider too that it's even better built and employs higher grade materials than before, and it becomes an even more tempting package. Kia is also working hard to bolster its dealer network on the rare occasions faults do arise, ensuring that issues are dealt with promptly and satisfyingly.